If you really want to know if your stride length is correct or not, look solely at that foot contact position in relation to the hip. All right, so one of the commonly asked questions is, how do I know if my stride length is correct? Is it too long? Is it too short? And a simple way to answer that is, as you watch your athlete, where is the foot contact in relation to the hip? That relationship dictates everything. If that foot is landing underneath the hip, and the hip is moving, obviously, as we're running, so it's moving past and enabling that foot to push, then we've got a great foot contact. If that stride length is getting too long, the foot starts to drift out in front of the hip, and now we get a braking mechanism where that foot has to buckle slightly, but we also get a much longer ground time. So now my hip has to pass the foot before my foot can come off the ground. So if you really want to know if your stride length is correct or not, look solely at that foot contact position in relation to the hip and how long it's staying on the ground. Remember, we want the foot to be on the ground the least amount of time possible. So the drills we're looking at to improve that, we'd like to do wickets. And again, we'd like to make sure that the wickets start where they're not too far apart. We want that athlete pushing through that max velocity phase. All right, that's one of them. We like to work on our drive phase, our 2-point, 3-point block start phases. We want to build that phase. So an athlete at the beginning of fall training maybe only can drive for 15 yards before they get out of position. As the season progresses, we want to go a little bit further and a little bit further and teach the athlete to drive longer and longer. Ultimately, the longer the drive phase for an athlete, the shorter the deceleration phase. So if we go back to Usain Bolt breaking the world record, he didn't hit max velocity until 62 meters, which meant he only had 38 meters to decelerate, and at 6'6", obviously he didn't do much decelerating. So great ways to work on that are great technique. Great body positions, work on the head position, work on the chin, work on my chest, work on the relationship between the hip and ground contact.